Hello, Made by Michelle here. I'm Michelle. Thank you for joining me today. Today we are going to do the Sew April Blouse 25. Now I am part of the vlogger tour. So in order to be entered to win a prize, and this is not a random prize draw, it is a judged prize. So it's a little different than some of the other contests, but you need to have your entry in by 11:59 p.m. your time zone on April 30th, and you need to use the hashtag on Instagram, SewAprilBlouse25. You need to tag Tamlin at Sewn on the Time and Gabrielle at the Cloth Edit, and you need to be following both of them on Instagram. So there are some rules. I'll put up the slides on what a blouse is. It is definitely woven material as opposed to jersey or something stretch knit. It is definitely not a basic structured garment. It is more floaty and flowy and has gathers, typically just diverts a bit from a men's tailored shirt. That's, I think, where the origins began, and then it evolved from there. This was my entry last year. I did not win a prize. I got a nod from Gabrielle, which was nice. I'll put pictures in. This was a cotton lawn that I got from So Haley Jane. Not a D-stash. It was a put up on her outlet. It was a fabric that was in one of the boxes, and I don't subscribe to her boxes, but I saw her a note that there was going to be some fabric in her outlet. So I had made an order and I got this beautiful cotton lawn. There wasn't a lot left in the outlet, and so I used every bit that I had, and it was just enough to make these beautiful sleeves. So my daughter helped me pick this fabric, and then I just used some bias along the neckline. This is, I don't have the pattern packet. I cannot find it, but I doubt I'll make it again. I don't love it. I like it. But it was McCall's pattern M7899, and I will probably put some pictures in here. I think I have some pictures of the pattern packet, hopefully, because it was on my Make 9 last year. So anyway, this was my entry last year. Sorry, it's a little wrinkled. I just pulled it out of my closet, didn't iron it. But so today I'm going to talk to you about some independent company patterns that you could use for Sew April Blouse 25. I previously did a not on the vlog tour pattern pick for 5 big 5 patterns that you could use for Sew April Blouse if you so choose. I'll try to link that video below if you'd like to go watch that. But these are 5 not 5. There's a few more than that. Some independent patterns that you could use for the Sew April Blouse. So the first one I have not yet made, but I do plan to make. And it is the Friday Pattern Company Patina Blouse. And again, I have not yet made it, but I do plan to make it. And it is this lovely shirt here, blouse. Again, it depends on what you make it in. If you made it in a quilting cotton, I think it would be considered more of a shirt. If you made it in something flowy like this brown linen blend, it would be more of a blouse. So what you make it in does matter. And so that would be the first thing that you can make it in. Friday Pattern Company patterns are fantastic. I'm sure that you've heard of them, but if you haven't, their sizing goes from extra small up to 7X, which is 32-inch chest up to a 60-inch chest, 24-inch waist up to a 53-inch waist, and a 34-inch hip up to a 63-inch hip. And that should be consistent across all of their pattern sizes. And you can get that in a printable PDF or a pattern that's already printed from them if you were to order it, or a number of pattern, a number of outlets. The next one I want to talk to you about is the Albion blouse, which is a free pattern from Peppermint Magazine. And this pattern I made for So Frugal, and I actually won a prize. I did some alterations on this of my own choosing, but that has nothing to do with why I won a prize. And I don't know if I won a prize for the Albion blouse or the 3 pairs of Friday Pattern Company sport shorts that I made, but it is a beautiful blouse pattern. It was a pleasure to sew. It is a free pattern. You do not need to spend money on it. I believe there was an option to pay something, which would be nice of you. Here is so the changes that I made. Instead of putting 3 little buttons and Rolo loops, I changed this and put 2 ties and anchored the other tie into the side seam. And then I changed the lap placket and buttons here. Instead of putting buttons on the cuff, I changed this to a button placket, to a cuff from a button placket that I have adapted from a ready-to-wear blouse that I absolutely love. And I've made several, make that just 2 now, but I plan to use it much more because I really like it. I will grab my Albion blouse. Hang on. This is my Albion blouse. I'll put some pictures in of me wearing it, but this is the cuff that I copied off of a ready-to-wear shirt. It's just I think I made it like a 6-inch and then doubled it. So maybe it's not quite that deep, but real simple. But I just really liked the way that it hit me and the thickness of it, the depth of it. So I just straightened off the pattern piece on this and added this cuff. It was supposed to have some pleats that went into this button placket, and instead of those pleats, I just, like I said, straightened off that sleeve ending and then added my cuff. And then instead of the buttons and Rolo loops, I added ties, and I thought 2 ties was enough. And then I added a tie on the inside to secure that extra wrap panel. And I made it out of a double gauze, and it's a fantastic, like I said, it's a fantastic blouse. It's a fantastic pattern. I can definitely see more of those. But again, free pattern. If you want to make a blouse and don't have money to spend on patterns, fantastic and free. Recommend. Another blouse pattern that I will be making at some point is the Porter woven pack, the blouse version from Style Arc. And this is a fantastic pack. It's got dress, shirt, blouse, skirt, the whole kit and caboodle. And I mean, if you made this version or this version definitely would qualify as a blouse. Or, I mean, even this one. So lovely sleeves, lovely, feminine details on there. And yeah, fantastic. I'm not sure which version I'm going to be making, but I will definitely be making this at some point. And yeah, fantastic. I mentioned that I won something for So Frugal, and this is what I picked out. This is the Stella by Koba Kiani. And it is a lovely little blouse pattern. Some really great little sleeves, some darts for shaping on the front and the back. And Brigitte is the pattern designer and website, the owner of this pattern company. And she was nice enough to send this pattern to me for free. So that is that pattern. Sorry, I didn't tell you the style arc sizes. They're a little harder to find, but I can go back and get both of those for you. The sizes on this one aren't quite as broad. So let's see. It goes from 31.5-inch chest up to a 50.39-inch chest, a 25.98-inch waist to a 45.28-inch waist, and a 35.43-inch hip to a 50.79-inch hip. Actually, that's pretty good. And yeah, so this one is made out of like an African wax print, so that would hold those sleeves up pretty well. This one is made in a rayon. I would probably make it in a rayon. Something very floaty. I don't mind a poof down here, but I really don't like an extra poof at the top. So again, so Haley Jane, something flowy. It isn't going to hold that shape of the sleeve up at the top. Sorry, that was the microphone. But something nice and floaty. However, my daughter really liked the cotton version. So, difference between 20 and 55. The next on my list is the Friday Pattern Company Saturday Skirt Set Top. Now, the way it's styled here, I wouldn't call it a blouse. The way I wear it, I would call it a blouse. I've made 3 now. I will put pictures in. Let me grab my last one because I think it's the blousiest of them so far. So this is my latest. And here is my cuff. This one, instead of gathering, I just did little pin tucks. I think that's what those are called. Or pleats, you could call them pleats. I did 7 little pleats on each cuff. And this is a cotton, but I think it's blousy. I think it's a beautiful shirt. When I wear it with orange dress slacks, and I wear it to work, to the office, and I just think it's a beautiful blouse. I wear it with a tank top under it that's this color, and my bright orange dress slacks, and just think it's a beautiful shirt, blouse, whatever you want to call it. So this one gathered. This one pleats. Pretty cool, huh? So you can put that on anything. It just depends on what size of sleeve you're putting into it, right? The Saturday skirt set top had a little bit more volume, so I had a little bit more wiggle room there. The Albion a little bit less, so I just did a gather. Plus the double gauze was a little floatier, so the gathers worked better than the cotton. So something to think about. But anyway, I think this one's blousey. I don't know. The way that they're styled, it really, I guess it just depends on who you are. But I'm sure these are both made in a rayon. Maybe this one's linen, but hard to see in black and white. But I try to print in black and white. So anyway, it's a lovely, lovely pattern, and again, extra small, the 7X, same pattern sizes that I previously gave you for Friday Pattern Company. Lovely, lovely stuff to work with. The next one I'm going to talk about is I have this book, The Great British Sewing Bee Sustainable Style, and it has a bunch of patterns in it, but it has this pussy bow blouse in it. So if you have this book, or I just ordered it off of Amazon, or actually I think I got it, I asked for it for a gift. I don't know if it was Christmas or birthday, but that is definitely a blouse for sure. And this book has, I don't know if it has the patterns or if you have to download them. I think you have to download them on this one. But it's got all the instructions, the layouts, and this one, it has the finished measurements, bust, finished measurement on the bust, go from a 35 5/8 to 49 1/2. This is not the most size inclusive pattern book. In fact, when I got it, it wouldn't have fit me. But now that after my illness, now it will. So, yay me. But I also have the Cashmerette book. I didn't see a blouse in that, and I also have the Tilly and the Buttons, not the stretch book, but the other one, and I didn't see a blouse in that either. So this one is the only one I found a blouse in, so I thought I would share that. And then the next pattern I wanted to talk about is, and this may be controversial, but I think again it comes back to what you make it in. Would be the Donnie. And I think if you make it with long sleeves, I mean, you can make it with short sleeves. Again, it depends on what you make it in. But bear with me here, if you make it in long sleeves, and then you use some sort of a long sleeve pattern hack, if you don't have your own long sleeve to hack, I have this Simplicity pattern. It's a 1930s vintage, doesn't really matter. It's number 8506. It's A because it's the bigger size band, but it's got 8 different sleeve options that you could use. So like if you put this sleeve on it, or here's one that's got a puff at the top and then it goes straight. Here's one that finishes in the middle of your forearm here. But yeah, I think I would go with something like that maybe. Would make it very blousy. I've made a bunch of Donnies. I can grab my latest Donnie if you'd like to see that. And again, I think the latest one is probably the blousiest, but it's still made in a cotton, and I would still consider it a shirt because of that, but I'll grab it real quick. So here is a Donnie. And again, I think this is a shirt, but imagine it in a floaty cotton lawn with a puffy sleeve on it. I think that would take it more into the blouse category. So again, it all depends on the vibe you're going for and what you made it in, and what you want to do with it. So you can use what you have, but that doesn't mean you have to make it as is. You can embellish it. So there's that. Couple more. I've got the Peppermint Magazine Paddington top. It's called a top. I've seen a lot of people make it, and it's very blousy. Again, it depends on what you make it in. I would make this in a viscose or a rayon, and I would say it's definitely blousy. And this is a free pattern, or pay what you can. So very, very budget friendly. This one goes from a bust of 32 to a bust of 57 and 7/8. Finished, just so you know, finished garment measurements, it's oversized. Finished garment measurements on that last one is instead of 57 and 7/8, it's 64 and a 16th. So, and then waist 24 inches to 51, and hip doesn't say the inches on the smallest. The next to the smallest hip is 36 inches. The hip on the larger size is 60 and 5/8. So that's very size inclusive. And then there is another free, the Peppermint Wrap top. And again, it depends on what you make it in. And this was a free pattern as well. And these were all free as of March 14th of this year, 2025. Bust 29 and 7/8 up to a bust of 51 and 5/8. So waist of 24 inches up to a waist of 45 and 5/8. But then the finished is a bust of 39 up to a bust of 60 and 5/8. And that's the only measurements that it has. So fantastic. And then again, the shirt that I'm wearing is McCall's M7899. So I think that was 9. So a 10th would be the Mood peony blouse. I don't have a picture of this one for some reason. It didn't print out, but it was also free, and it is a blouse. I will try to put a picture in here of all of these. But It's, sorry, the bust goes from 32.5 up to 58.5. And again, it was free as of last month. So that is what I have for you today. I will again put the slides in here that you need to see of the what is a blouse, of the contest rules and regulations, and all the prizes. I'll put those in scattered throughout, hopefully. If you liked this video, it would be fantastic if you gave me a like. If you are new here and you enjoyed this content, if you would give me if you would subscribe, that would be amazing and help my channel get a little bit more traction. I'm very small at this point, and it would be fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. And I hope you get some time to sew today. I think I am going to work on some blouses. So thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. Bye.